Now that you have learned basic spreadsheet terminology and how to navigate your way around worksheets and select data in Excel, it's now time to start entering some data. First, we will look at some of the handy viewing features provided in Excel, and then we'll enter some data, and then we'll edit that data. When you have a lot of data in your worksheet, it can be useful to zoom in closer to a specific area of the data. The zoom slider at the bottom right corner of the worksheet allows you to do just that. You can either click on the plus and minus buttons or drag the slider to select your preferred zoom value. You also have some zoom controls in the ribbon on the View tab. Zoom lets you pick a predefined zoom level or a custom one. The 100% button zooms the worksheet back to its original size, and Zoom to Selection enables you to select an area of data and then zoom into that specific selection only. If you want to see several areas of your data at the same time while zoomed in, you can use the Split button. This splits the screen into multiple sections, and you can scroll each section separately. If you only want two sections, you can remove either the horizontal or the vertical split by double-clicking on it. If you have headings in your columns, like a header row, then you might want those to remain on screen while you move down the sheet. To do that, you need to use Freeze Panes. You can freeze only the top row if you wish, or if that doesn't suit, as is the case here, then you can select the row or even just a cell in the row below the row or rows you want to freeze, and then select Freeze Panes. You can do a similar thing for columns if you want to freeze them too. And you can even freeze both rows and columns at the same time. The trick here is to first select the cell that is both one row below where you want to freeze and one column to the right of where you want to freeze. In this case, that is cell C4. Now we can scroll down the worksheet and across the worksheet, and we can still see the header row and the manufacturer and model columns. Now, if you have multiple workbooks open, notice I said workbooks and not worksheets, then you can switch between them by using View, Switch Windows, or the faster method is to use the Ctrl plus F6 shortcut. Now let's enter some data into our blank worksheet. The easiest way to open a new worksheet from within Excel is to click the New button in the Quick Access toolbar, or Ctrl plus N if you prefer keyboard shortcuts. So let's enter some headings across the top of the worksheet. This is typically referred to as a header row. Note that if you press Enter after typing data into a cell, the next active cell is the one directly below, which is not what we want in this case. But if we press Tab after we enter data in a cell, it selects the next cell along in the row as the active cell. Now we'll enter some headings and press Tab after each entry. Notice that the text is slightly longer in some of the cells, and it either gets partly hidden by the next cell or overlaps it. If you click and hold the divider line between two columns, you can drag it left and right to resize it manually. If you want to do that automatically, you can double-click the divider line between two columns. As these are going to be headings for our columns, let's make them bold. Now let's add another column between the Parts and Accessories column. Simply select the right hand of those two columns, then right-click and choose Insert to put another column to the left of the selected column. Let's call it Servicing Sales. To tidy up our column widths simultaneously, we select all the columns from A to E, then double-click any of the divider lines between columns. This automatically reduces or increases each column's width to fit the data in that column. Okay, now we have some headings. Let's enter some month data in column A. So, if we type Jan in cell A2 and press Enter, then it takes us to the cell below, which is what we want in this case. And we can type Feb in cell A3, and so on, until we get to December in A13. Now let's suppose you need to change a couple of your headings. You have several ways of editing existing data in a cell. You can either select the cell and then just start over typing, or you can select the cell and press F2 on your keyboard to put the cursor at the end of the cell and make your changes. Or you can simply double-click somewhere on the cell and put the cursor at that position in the cell and make your changes. And you can even select the cell and then click in the formula bar to edit your cell data. Now let's do the same for the Parts and Accessories column headings. In this video, we learned about some of the viewing options in Excel, and we learned how to enter and edit data in cells. In the next video, we will learn how to copy and fill data and how to format the cells and data in a worksheet.